Hallo, herzlich willkommen zum Indo-German Live Talk. Diesmal haben wir die Festivalmacher des New Generations Film Festivals zu Gast, Petra Klaus. Please welcome Petra Klaus from New Generations Independent Indian Film Festival. Hello, Petra.
Hello, Stefan.
And please
Hello.
also give a warm welcome to Binu K. Joseph from Cologne. He is also part of the organization team and the festival makers and festival directors of New Generations Independent Indian Film Festival. Hello, Binu.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Stefan. Hello, Ramandeep. How are you? Thanks for your invitation, first of all.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for being with us. And my co-host, Ramandeep Jaswal. And Raman, I would like to give you the space for the first questions. Hello, Raman.
Hi. Hi, everyone. First of all, thanks a lot for joining. Really excited to talk about New Generations Independent Indian Film Festival, which is happening this year. Yeah. From 6th to 8th of November 2020, it's an online version. I think we are going to talk a lot about it in the coming time. So let's start with this now. So first of all, would you like to tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about the background of New Generations Independent Indian Film Festival? We are in Germany and we have taken India as the theme for this film festival. So how did you get to know about Indian films so closely, and why Indian Film Festival? Maybe Petra, we can start with you.
I would pass the word to my colleague Binu, because initially it was his idea to set up the film festival. Very, very early in 2008, he came up and said, look, there's a new kind of film. Shouldn't we do a film festival? Binu, maybe you can say more about this. It's back.
Yeah, actually we came up with this idea during it was actually, I think, 2007 or 2008. I'm not quite sure. And I was kind of following, as I'm from the second generation Indians in Germany. I was raised by a single mother here in Frankfurt. I used to be in Frankfurt, and so as we all know, the young children, as young Indians, we watch movies at home, of course. And this is how I actually started and first got in touch with Indian cinema. The old video cassettes we put in the VHS recorder and started watching the movies. I'm from the Malayali community, from the Kerala community. So we are from South India. And we used to watch Malayalam movies as well as Hindi movies also, because my mother was in Delhi for a long time, so she used to watch Hindi cinema as well as Malayalam cinema. So I was right into the whole thing, in 2007. It was a kind of a development. We had all kind of different Indian cinemas at home, and especially I was observing the Malayalam cinema, if I can say so. In the Malayalam cinema industry, we had a more realistic kind of view, or it was a kind of realistic kind of lens, and from that time on. It was maybe also part of the rapid globalization, and also maybe one part plays the role of education in the country and the wealth in the country. So it was not only the usual topics in the films, before that time already. It was not only love stories and family stories and all that, but also increasingly the topics which were which were coming from right in the middle of the community and the society in India. So this, I think, was taking a major influence on the way Malayalam cinema, and also which has also affected other cinema industries in India, took place. So this is what I actually realized. issues like social partition, gender politics, and themes of that, and democratic rights. We had all kind of education was a main thing, of course, and rights of minorities. So slowly but increasingly, I was kind of seeing this in the development of Indian cinema. So I talked to Petra, and I was like, we did this in the past already in a very, very small kind of thing. We had screenings at of Orpheus already. I mean, Petra did that, and we had another background because we have a radio background. I don't know if you know.
We are colleagues.
we are colleagues from the radio station from a community station in Frankfurt. So I was working with Petra at that time, and Petra was a big mentor for me, and I learned a lot from her, of course. But as we figured out, we had equal interests in India and cultural things. We discussed not only music, of course, obviously, but also cinema. We discussed to do this in Frankfurt. So we started to do research and all that, and started the next year with the first festival, actually.
Yeah. Now I'll actually now take this question interestingly towards Petra. I mean, Petra, when this idea came up, first of all, I mean, Binu has a connection with India. How did you get into touch with India? I know you are also related to Indian vibes, right? So how did this overall touch with India came up?
Very strangely, because not originally Indian, because there was a composer, a guitarist, Volker Kriegel from Wiesbaden, who wrote the piece Matar, and Paul Weller, a British musician, did a remix of it, and I came across this in 2004 and was really I really liked it, and so I started to follow this kind of music, and the music came up with second generations Asians mixing those sweet voices and tabla beats and sitar beats with drum and bass. And so with another colleague in 1997, we started the ever first Asian underground club night in Germany, here in Frankfurt, on a simple Wednesday with we had about 3 CDs, I must say then. And we did it for a couple of years. And then in 2000, Binu joined us, or joined me. And so one thing came to the other. And we thought it was kind of boring, only having parties and concerts. Not that I would say any artist would be boring. On the contrary, it was fun over here. And we thought we should make a little progress, and we cooperated with the first exhibition with second generation Asian arts from Great Britain, very cutting edge pieces. And we had 3 nights at Orpheus with short films. In 2000, very great films, Sari and Trainers, I remember. And recently I went through the schedule from then on. I thought I might take a look who was among the directors then. And I discovered one name. He had his first short film there. And guess who it was? Asif Kapadia. And he's world famous now, and we had his first short film in 2000 that was find amazing. So and then booked for 2006 was with India being the guest of honor for the second time. We thought we should set up a bit, and we had curated an exhibition with digital art from Great Britain, second generation Asians arts, and we held a conference, a call center India, and had a guest from India, Ashim Aluwalia, who presented his film John and Jane about call center agents, American by night, Indians by day. And so this kind of was a shift in a different kind of directions, and we were more open to have more activities. We had another exhibition, and so when Binu came up with the idea to set up a film festival, okay, first I was skeptical and then slept over it and then thought, let's do it. So this is the connection. And as we are colleagues in radio-wise, since 1998,
97 or 98, yeah.
98 January,
yeah.
we have our Indian Vibes radio show once a month here on the community radio station, Radio X here in Frankfurt. If the listeners want to listen to it, it's online for a couple of days at just radiox.de, and there's a thing called +7. You can listen to the show. It's still online. So
yeah, great. Now, thank you for sharing that story, and I think good for us because we get to watch such nice movies here in Frankfurt itself. So thank you for arranging this film festival. With that, Stefan.
Yeah, I would like to know, you have talked a lot now about the beginnings, so I would like to know more about your observations of the past several years, or maybe also the recent year, where you got your selection for this year's films. So first of all, I would like to know, before we reveal what will be the film this year, I would like to know, was it a strong year? What did you observe also in the regions? You have told us a lot of Malayalam cinema, Binu, and what have been your observations this year?
Talking of Malayalam cinema, I have to say, I mean, I was there last year. I was in Kerala, in Trivandrum, and I met some of those guys and talked to them. I mean, well, we all know the personal contact to these people is very, very core, and it's very important to stay in contact with these people. But as far as we are right in the middle of the pandemic, sadly, again. It was really a challenge. It was really a challenge to get to know new productions, new films, and I mean, in India it's much worse than here. In India, people actually don't go out. When I talk about Kerala, it's different there, but it was really challenging for us to find new films in terms of, rights. We had to think of going online too. Right in the beginning, we were like, can we manage it? How will we do it? Can we go to the cinema theater and just do our usual business as every year, or do we have to go hybrid? Do we have to do a hybrid festival and go online? And I think initial talk with again, after so many years, with Osham Ahluwalia, who did John and Jane and Ms. Lovely and other productions in India. He said, you have to do it. You have to go online. There's no other choice. Just go for it. Do it. Yeah. And he gave us the courage to take that step, actually.
Fortunately, we took this decision back already in March. We had a date with the lovely, beautiful Orpheus Erben, and thought we better do it parallel online, prepare online. We never know what will happen in November, and in retrospect, we are very happy we took this decision and had this 2-tier preparation for it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think it's now time to reveal what are the films. So there's one film actually which is one of my very, very favorite films, and you might smell it. It's it's a Malayalam film. You know what I'm talking about.
I think the Binu's compartment.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few in the as a choice, actually, and but I can't tell you that because I don't know. Otherwise, they would say, "Why didn't you take our film?" But this year, it's Muton, And Muton is it's not a typical Malayalam film. I have to say, it is mostly shot in Malayalam language and Hindi. It is a kind of language which is spoken at the Lakshadweep Islands. So it's not the Malayalam which is spoken in Kerala actually. So it was hard even for me to understand the language. But you'll get used to it. I mean, as soon as if you're a Malayalam speaker, then you'll get used to it. It's a really nice film. It's a very strong film, and I heard of Geetu Mohandas the first time when she was doing what was it again?
Liar's Dice.
Exactly, the Lost Dice.
Liar's Dice.
Liar's Dice. And I was following the reviews of Muton in the beginning because I was some kind of connected to Nivin Pauly, who's one of the actors. I was just following all the reviews of the actor, and they were like kind of giving small hints and insights in the beginning. This was a year ahead actually, and I was like, oh, this is really really good, because they're saying he has never done a role like this before, and if you know Nivin Pauly, he's one of the as Malayalam cinema always refers to superstars. So they talk of superstars, and Nivin Pauly was one of the new wave cinema superstars. He's one of the new generation in Kerala. You talk about new generations, and this was after we made the choice for New Generation, the name for our festival actually. So the new generation film industry is the new filmmakers, and the new actors, the new producers, and cinematographers. And this is the first time when I heard about this film, and I was very curious about it. And I was really waiting for that film to come, and it paid off actually.
Now I can already tell you, I mean, the movie, because it was also part of the Indo-German Film Festival that happened in Berlin, and Stefan actually told me that this is one of the best movies that he has seen, and he got me excited while watching it. And I think the movie lived up to its expectation. It's an amazing movie, and I would recommend all the viewers and listeners not to lose this opportunity. Be part of New Generation's Independent Indian Film Festival and watch this movie if you haven't watched it now.
Yeah. And also it has won the audience award in Berlin.
Yes.
So it's another reason. And so also for all Berliners watching now, there's still one chance to see it on the big screen, which is tomorrow at because we repeat the winning films. We can't repeat the other winning films because there is a lockdown. But tomorrow there's still the last screening possibility. And what is the date when it's running online at your festival? Can you give it to the audience?
It's 3 days from 6 to 8, because the films will be online for 3 days, so people can pick up a convenient time for themselves. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So basically, I mean, whenever the viewers have time, they can basically log in and then watch these movies.
Yeah.
From the comfort of their home, in their own home cinemas. That's an amazing opportunity, I would say. Yeah. Great. Stefan?
Yeah, you can go on if you like, Raman.
Okay. So now, I mean, when we have talked about which movies is basically going to be placed there, I think what is also important to bring in front of the people, how can they be part of this film festival, right? So would you like to add some more information on that part?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
So, I mean, if now after listening to all these exciting talk, people think, I want to join now this Indian Film Festival that is online happening, how can they basically be part of this film festival and get access to all these online films?
And maybe you add also information about the other films, because this is just not Muton. I think you have a choice of several films. So maybe you can tell us more about that, and then also how to log in.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. One important part, it's not a feature film, is our short film section since 2016. We are hosting the short films ourselves. We have a passionate short film jury, and I must say they picked a very good choice of films. Unfortunately, no funny films around this year. We have no comedy in the feature program either, but very strong films with strong subject matters. For instance, about a community in Karachi who lives peacefully together with all different kind of religions. A story about a woman who tries to link to her grandchildren, and they have a strong impact. Very good films, and they are most German premieres. And as we have much more time online, it's an extended version with 3 blocks, about 130 minutes, so you can simply binge through all the films. This is one part. And
altogether like 12 films, 12
yeah.
short films, and this is the short film Wala competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
sorry.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to basically ask, so how can people get access to all these fantastic movies that are lined up?
It's very simple. They just go to the website, to the newgenerations.de, and there's you click on online film festival pass, and then you are on a ticket website, and simply buy online your ticket, and it's €8 for the festival pass, and on for 3 days, and you pick up the time you want to see the films. And in time before the festival, online festival starts, you get your individual access code. You log in with your email address and you get an access code, and then you can watch the films. Otherwise, it's protected and non-accessible. But if you go to the website, you always have the previews, the trailers, and the info on the films so far. Yeah.
So basically, I mean, one can go to the website newgenerations.de, can buy the film pass for €8, and then log in and watch all the movies included in €8. I think that's an amazing deal. And then sit at home in your comfort and watch all those movies. I think that's a great part. And then the movies are available from 6th of November till 8th of November. And then you can choose whenever you want to watch whichever movie during this time frame. One question, is this offer only available in Germany, or is this also beyond?
No, it's only available in Germany because this is what the distributors ask us to do, geo-blocking for Germany.
Yeah. So the offer is available specially for Germany. So all the people here, take advantage of this special offer and enjoy the coming weekend for you guys. Yeah. With that, Stefan?
Yeah, so and maybe you can tell us also a little bit more about the other feature films which are in the program. So in total, it's a short film program. It's Muton, and can tell us a little more.
As a help, for instance, just like that, we are very happy to have discovered this film. It's the feature film, the debut feature film by a young filmmaker. And it's a story about a widowed middle-class woman who doesn't fulfill the expectation of her relatives, of her children, moving in with them and or giving them much money. She just takes her freedom, but very easily, just like that, has her first ice cream in a shopping mall, and learns embroidery, joins a young, how do you call it, cosmetic person, and she does what she like. And what is very interesting, this story is inspired by Bertolt Brecht's a short story, Eine unwürdige Greisin. Yeah, and even though I have a master in German literature, I've never read this story, but I read it when I discovered this in the credits, and it's a very well adaptation of the story, very sensitive and very nicely made. And we spoke to Kisley, the young director, and he's not saying, okay, here's the woman, the widowed woman and the mean children. No, it's not this, because he reveals the background of every character, and every character has his burden and his story and his disappointments and his dreams. So it's I found it very interesting.
Yeah.
And also this woman is very calm and Mrs. Sharma is her name. Mrs. Sharma goes follows just her undisturbed and unirritated, just does what she wants without hurting anybody, but not fulfilling expectations.
Yeah.
And especially just one more word to the film, especially in these times in which we live, we thought it really is well to reflect about, because these kind of situations are everywhere. They're present everywhere, and everyone gets old. And it's a story about a woman who's not only loses her husband, but also tries to live a new life. And this is extremely difficult in if you're living in a community or society context. And it's about she's not really challenging. She's just going her way, and that's the funny part about it. And
just
Petra,
like that,
just like that, yeah, essay.
Yeah.
And I think he very well worked out the characters and the protagonists. And as Petra said, he's not trying to find a guilty person, or he's not trying to point out special characters, or the husband or the wife or the kids within the film, because he's showing the backgrounds and he's showing the dreams of the people they had. And that's really interesting. It's really good made, I think. So I absolute must see. I really like the film, and you have to go and see that.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to now also mention this, that this film festival was initially planned to be a hybrid format, which was you can go into a cinema and watch the movie, and then you can also watch it online. But I mean, as they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. It's like people who are really determined to make it happen, who are passionate, they are the ones who pull it through. And just like a couple of days back, the new regulations came out, because of which the hybrid had to be switched to online. So how difficult was it for you to take that decision? Like you still want to take it through, and again, hats off to you that you are pulling it off, and then not having it in a hybrid version, but only online version. So this last minute change, what challenges it actually brought for you as organizers?
Well, we already had prepared everything for online, because it was like organizing a double festival. Okay, you organize all the DCPs, but you all organize, set up a different kind of files you need for online. So it was like doing everything double. Everything was set up. Main thing now is, and what we do since yesterday, inform all the people to switch on to the online pass. We had to redirect all the cinema tickets already bought and invite people. So won't you swap your ticket to the online pass? And now we have to promote the online festival heavily.
Yeah,
that's it. We had no decision, because the decision was taken, and we now we're speaking with all the distributors. As you know, you have to pay the film fees in advance, and now as I say, oh, look, we can't have the cinema version. How can we deal this? And so this is and that's the main thing we did yesterday, and communication, it was the main thing, I would say.
I think it's a lot of overhead that comes when you have to, basically people have already bought the tickets and now you have to also refund that part. But still, I mean, you are pulling it off as a team. Again, hats off to you. And yeah, all the best for the upcoming this film festival. Again, New Generations Independent Indian Film Festival from 6th to 8th of November. newgenerations.de is the website from where people can get access to that. Yeah.
And there you can find all the other films also. We have 4 feature films and the short films. And Muton and Esse here are just 2 of them. We have Bharam and...
Bharam also was shown in with Stefan Indo-German Film Week in Berlin.
We have Bharam and Mogul.
Mogul.
Yeah.
Which is also we're very let's see how it works, because it's a very strong movie, and I'm very excited because of Mogul especially.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about all these different movies, do you have a kind of a selected criteria based on which you select the movies? Or is it, how do you select these movies? Maybe you can take us a little bit behind the screen, so to say, and tell us your selection process.
I mean, it's different from year to year. First of all, you have to see which movies are available. Then secondly, you don't get every movie you would like to have. Yeah, it depends on the major festivals, the big festivals, of course, Berlinale, Venice, Cannes in Europe, speaking of those big festivals. And I mean, this year especially, as I said, the challenge was to get movies which were not running. It was harder than the years before. And to get movies which might be online in other countries. So where they had the phase where it was online already, and they had the deals with the online, how do you say, like, you know, all these online film viewing platforms,
OTT platforms. Yeah.
So if those exactly, yeah, if those films were on those platforms already and not in Germany, that's kind of a back and forth, because sometimes you find a film which was not released in Germany, or maybe not in Frankfurt, or not in Hessen, and then you figure out it's somewhere on one of the popular streaming platforms, and then it's out actually.
And for instance,
this was the challenge.
For instance, we had a couple of films in mind. Then Indisches Film Festival in Stuttgart went online with concentrating on Malayalam films, and they were German-wide international. So we thought, okay, we can present them again online or in cinema. And so it was different this year. But on the other hand, I must say, it was there were so many good films, and it was not so regarding the films themselves to have a choice. And sometimes you say, should we, let's go on, do a little more research, get more other films. But we were both rather very enthusiastic about the films we saw.
Yeah.
And it's a thing of your heart. It's an emotional thing too. Okay, if you watch films for so many years, you get some kind of a special qualification, like you listen to music and say, okay, this is a good tune, this is a good film, and
right. So I mean, one thing I would like to ask you here: are there subtitles with these movies there, so that people who do not understand the language, how are the movies supported with the subtitles?
They are all English subtitles. Yeah.
So I think it's an important information. Movies are with English subtitles. So even if the movie is in Malayalam or any language that you don't understand, you can still enjoy the movie because the subtitles are in English. With that, I give back to you, Stefan.
And so I just would like to add from my side. Also, my observation from this year's film selection was that I think it's a very strong year. It's a very 2019 and 2020. So that's why Moton, for example, that's a film, such a strong film. I haven't seen really a film like that for a couple of years. And also, I think the Malayalam films in general are very strong this year. So they are always strong, so stronger than some other parts for like the Western taste, I would say. So even though my soul might be Indian, I'm a German, and so my taste is Western, definitely. Also, I grew up with German movies, European movies, art house movies, and American movies. So definitely my taste is a little more maybe mainstream regarding that. But that's the interesting thing. Which and I'm very curious to see the other films which I haven't seen. So I definitely will also be part of the festival and watch it.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you.
And also, there's no chance to do something else now. So we have a lockdown from Monday onward. So there is no film in cinemas and so. So you're forced to go online. So in this regard, it's even though people can't go and see your movie, the movies you have selected in the cinemas, the good news is they now will all gather behind the screens and watch it online. So I press all thumbs. I have two at least. I can do.
Thank you.
And wish you all the best for the festival. But I think, Raman, you have also some more questions which go a little bit also into again that we come back to the beginning of the talk. Because both of you're also radio DJs, and this is also a very interesting topic, I think, for our listeners and for our viewers to learn a bit about that. You already mentioned that Radio X is you can listen to it on the online on the net. So maybe you can explain a little bit. What about Indian Vibes? So what is it? What can we expect if somebody wants to listen to it? So can you tell us a little bit more about that also?
The Indian Vibes radio show presents information, informs about events going on, has book reviews, and in the last two shows we were featuring the film festival. For instance, Burden, I found the director's note by Priya Krishnaswamy explaining how she came upon this subject matter, because she did a lot of research, and it's not just a drama, but it's based on real horrible events, and how she came across and did the research and took the decision to make this drama. So I translated her director's note and told about it, and we have an interview with the short film jury. It used to start as a complete music magazine, but somehow it developed and changed into informational 2-hour radio show once a month. So and just like the lockdown was in March, I started to give book reviews, as people cannot go out, and so they could stay at home and have some reading recommendations and so on.
Yeah. So on Radio X, is there a specific time when people can listen to this radio show, Indian Vibes?
It's online for the next couple of. It's always 7 days online. After this, it has been broadcast, and the last show was is still online till Sunday. If you go to Radio X, and then is +7 because 7 days all shows are online. You just go to Indian Vibes and can listen to it till next Sunday. And
Nice.
the next, it's always on the 4th Sunday of each month from 12 to 2 p.m.
Right.
Okay.
So every 4th Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. tune into Radio X and listen to the Indian Vibes program. I think that's interesting, and I think it promotes the cultural integration as well, for which even Radio Apna Frankfurt stands for. So there, I think it's an amazing thing that you guys are doing on Radio X, and really looking forward to listening to Radio X as well. Yeah, Stefan?
Yeah, I have a question also before we come back, because I also have more word about the films, but to the radio. So this is, you can listen to it in all of Germany, but it's also on FM radio in the Frankfurt region, correct?
Yeah, it has an FM frequency in 98.1, 91.8, so it is, and it's a live stream on Radio X. It's a 24-hour station. We set it up in 1997 as a community station. We are about between 300 and 500 people, and it's our own radio station since then. And it's
and I think it's a lot of cultural mix that you listen on this video, right?
Yeah.
So different cultures are being presented. It's an amazing listening experience. I have heard it myself as well. So yeah, I will also recommend it from my side that people can go and listen to it. No?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Stefan?
Yeah, so I was thinking if there is some more information we need to give, or did we forgot something? Tell us, please.
We didn't in particular mention Mogul Mokli.
Okay.
We are still holding our breath that we can have it online, because the distribution is very careful. And we hope they say okay, because we had it for cinema, and we hope it works well. It's a very interesting film. I saw it at the Berlinale. It's a rapper with a Pakistani-British background, and it's more dealing with the conflict between the elder generation, the younger generation, and have an artistic life, and but being expected to get another profession, normally from the parent side, expecting like, have you seen, what was the film we had last year with Gurinder Chadha's Binu? This comedy. I always forget the.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, basically, it's about what to do. You know, it's the second, third, fourth, even fourth generations living in UK, and with at that time a right-wing background. You know, growing up in that kind of surroundings and an environment. And today, again, it kind of comes back on the one hand. On the other hand, you have your family and traditions, and do you follow your traditions and your cultural and cultural how do you say, Zwänge?
Yeah, so your cultural habits, or your cultural
habits. Or do you follow your ambitions? You know, what is how do you deal with that, and how do you go on in fulfilling your dreams, actually, and following them?
Yeah, and interestingly, now I have the title from last year. It was Blinded by the Light.
Blinded by the Light.
Also, you can choose what you want. If you don't want to be an engineer, you can become a lawyer or a doctor. But no, this guy wanted to be a writer and artist. And very interestingly, after the screening, people came to us with second generation Indians here in Germany, and so this film was so important for me. I have the same feelings. I have the same troubles in my family. It was for me all the same conflicts. So it's touching people. So we thought it would be important for people to see, for our audience, to see Mogul Mokli as well, because it's Blinded by the Light is a comedy. Mogul Mokli is very serious film. It's not a funny film, I would say, but it's the same level of subject matter. Yeah.
And I think cinema is a very important medium through which, if people can start thinking, I mean, realization is important, and thinking about that and then taking the right steps is what cinema is all about, in my point of view, isn't it? Sorry, Binu, you were saying something.
Yeah, I mean, it's about, you know, we bring cinemas to, we bring the films to the cinemas. I mean, this is the best example. If you talk with people afterwards and they say, oh man, this was so eye-opening, and or I could see myself in that. I could see myself in that role, and it's just like it reminds me on one situation, because we had director Ram, who is always in the background and advising us to do this and that. Sometimes he advised my mother to write a book. So because he said, you should go and write a book. And she was like, oh no, I can't write. I'm not so good in English. My language is not good. And he was like, okay, I can fix a date with someone. If the next time when you're in India, just tell them your story and they will write it for you. And then you'll check it and that's it. And he said that because he said, you have to do this. You have to write your own story. Every one of us, actually. Everyone who thinks this is a story I have to tell has to do it and has to follow this thing, because you never know. The world is huge. There are so many people out there who might have experienced similar things and who might acknowledge and not know that you're not alone, and that there are so many other people who have experienced similar things. And this might be a great help for all the people. This is what I say. This is why we do this film festival. We in the beginning we thought, all these commercial films or more commercial films, Stefan, they don't need a platform. They don't need this kind of support. As we all know, it's a difficult time for artists, for the cultural scene, and especially in this time, we have to stick together. And this is the reason why we do this kind of Zoom talk today, and why we get together. This is why we have to show and put signs.
Yeah, definitely, and the times have changed drastically. Meanwhile, I don't know, when you started in 2004, there was the same situation like when I started in 2013 with my first festival. It was still a time when even the blockbusters from India didn't come over. Maybe later through DVD or so. But now you have a day-to-day release of all the big films, so there is no need to screen the big films at the festival. So the festival is really now about the support of the independent filmmakers. So that's also how our festival changed during the times. We still have some of the bigger films because we work with the distributors, and so for us it's always a mix. But the idea behind it is to have it, how can I say, to have it as a honey cake for the viewers to okay, I want to see a Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, or whatever Khan film, and then they realize, oh, there are interesting other films, and because then they see a trailer of the other films, and so that's the idea behind it, So even to those people who on first hand don't want I'm not coming to see art house films. To bring them in and to let them see, hey, there's a bunch of really very interesting stuff out you may not heard of, but it's really worth watching. And the most important is, the real discussions and everything. So that will be my last question now. How about the Q&As? Will you have Q&As in the online version also, or how do you realize that?
Well, what we have done so far is we have prepared, as we're going online, obviously we have to, it's a choice we made. We are not going live with the Q&As as they would normally would happen in the theater, in the cinema hall. So we decided to pre-produce them, just record them before putting them online. And we have recorded versions. As soon as you go to newgenerations.de, you will have a selection of talks, or how would you call it, Q&As with the directors like Bhadam. We have a Q&A with Priya Krishnaswamy for Bhadam. She's a national award winner, as you know. Bhadam was there too at the Indo-German Film Week, and we talked to her. We have a Q&A with Kisle Gonçalves, who has done Essayi, just like that, and who else?
With Maya
Maya Minas.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had her here in person.
Yeah.
At the festival. It was also very nice. So I think we had a 1-hour talk or so, together with the professor, where she did her master's degree, and yeah, very interesting. So it's then we have to watch out, 6th to 8th of November. And can you mention again what is the website? It's www.
It's newgenerations.de.
Yeah.
From 6th of November till 8th of November, online version. Go to this website, newgenerations.de. €8, you get access to all the movies that you can watch. And I think in the lockdown period, as Stefan, you said, this is one of the best things I think you can plan. So definitely buy this ticket just for €8. You get access to amazing movies from the comfort of your home. Watch these movies, enjoy yourself. And again, I would again like to thank you that you have actually, Petra and Binu, both of you, that you have actually put this all together despite these corona challenges. So thanks a lot for taking that effort. And really, I think you are promoting the cultural integration with that. And it's a passion that is driving both of you. So thank you very much for arranging that. Again, New Generations Independent Indian Film Festivals website, newgenerations.de. Please go and watch all the movies that are coming up your way from 6th to 8th of November 2020. Stefan?
Yeah, Petra and Binu, thank you so much for being our guests, and hope to see you soon online first, but also hope to see you soon in person after the pandemic, because there will be a time after the pandemic.
Sure.
Definitely. And we will
Definitely.
stay on, we will we go on with the festival world. And yeah, all the best for the festival.
And thank you very much for the invitation and nice talk. Yeah, thank you very much.
Just wanted to thank you both. Stefan, thanks for having us. Thanks for inviting us. Ramandeep for doing all this kind of moderating the Zoom talk. This also takes a lot of passion. It takes a lot of effort, and without you, I mean, we should work together closely in future. It's a good thing. As I always say, all the people who promote culture and intercultural exchange, they should stick together and do more things like this. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you
Definitely.
so much.
Let's do that. Okay. See you soon.
Right.
And then
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye
very much.
bye. Bye bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.